Welcome to Lesson 6 in Unit 21, From Sun to Food. In previous lessons, students have figured out that plants need air and water to build their matter and light energy to look healthy and green. They figured out that different parts of the plant help the plant get those materials. In this lesson, students will use a hands-on model to describe how plants use sunlight, water, and air to produce their own food so that they can grow. Students figure out that the process of photosynthesis involves energy in the form of sunlight and small particles such as water and carbon dioxide that move into the plant. Plants use this energy to change air and water into their own plant matter. This lesson is approximately 3 days. In the engage portion of this lesson, tell students that they will be showing how plants use air and water to grow, and that this information can be used to make their pizza farm models even better. You can facilitate a turn and talk with student groups regarding the question, what do you think the plants do with the air and water? Record a few student responses on the board. These are the materials provided by mySci to play the photosynthesis game. You will cut and assemble the fabric flower ahead of time to look like the picture shown here, showing flower, leaves, stem, and roots. Lay the fully assembled flower model on the classroom floor, allowing room around the flower for students to view what is happening. Be sure to read the instructions on teacher pages 10 and 11 for directions on how to play the game. You will also put the ping pong balls together in Ziploc bags ahead of time. Make 6 Ziploc bags with 2 hydrogen balls and 1 oxygen ball in each, and label these bags as water. Make 6 Ziploc bags with 1 carbon ball and 2 oxygen balls in each, and label these as carbon dioxide. Cut the egg carton so that it is 4 rows by 6 and can hold a total of 24 balls. In the Explore portion of this lesson, students will play the photosynthesis game to see how matter can be broken apart and put together. Refer to the instructions on teacher pages 10 and 11 for details on setup. While you play this game with students, keep in mind that we are building on the K2 progression of matter and energy, so students may come with prior knowledge that things can be broken apart and put together. We can build on this knowledge with students in this photosynthesis activity. Sugar is being built by putting together smaller particles of air and water. In the Explain portion of this lesson, give students time to answer the questions on the photosynthesis journal page. You may want to allow students to work in pairs or small groups on these questions and then share out. You could also use Post-it notes and chart paper to get a sense of what all students are thinking. Next, watch the following video with students. How do plants get energy? Use this video to review with students what the inputs and outputs of photosynthesis are. Carbon dioxide, sunlight, and water go in, then sugar is created and oxygen goes out. Read and discuss certain parts of the book Photosynthesis, Changing Sunlight into Food by Bobby Kallman. See teacher page 13 for a read-aloud guide. Allow students to change or refine any answers on student page 16, Photosynthesis. For language support and differentiation, you could also allow them to draw pictures to show what they know on student page 16. As an alternative, or for extra multimedia opportunities for your students to solidify their knowledge of photosynthesis, allow students to go through the following Study Jam slideshow. They will need to press the arrows for the next slide when they view this page. In the Elaborate portion of this lesson, continue reading the book Photosynthesis, Changing Sunlight into Food, pages 24 and 25. Refer to the read-aloud guide and the teaching guide for more guidance. Students may want to discuss as a class why some plants lose their leaves in winter and stop growing. Reiterate with students that if photosynthesis isn't being done, plants are not really able to grow. They use the sugar they make to help them grow. In the evaluate portion of this lesson, give students time to add arrows and refine drawings. If you have blue markers, crayons, or pens for students to draw the flow of water in their model, make those available to them now. At this point, students should be able to add specific vocabulary about carbon dioxide, sugar, and oxygen, and add matter arrows accordingly. They will continue refining their models over the next several lessons. In this lesson, students used a hands-on model to describe how plants use sunlight, water, and air to produce their own food so that they can grow. Students figured out that the process of photosynthesis involves energy, sunlight, and small particles, water and carbon dioxide, that move into the plant, and that plants use energy to change air and water into their own plant matter. By understanding how plants use matter, students will be able to further develop their pizza farm model and will be able to connect this to the idea that plants are involved in the cycling of matter. Flow of energy in an ecosystem will be addressed in lessons 7 and 8.